Since the Naruto x Boruto Ninja Voltage game was released in 2017, there have been lots of shinobi that have appeared to fill the various needs of the characters in this game. Starting from characters from the Naruto Shippuden generation to the Boruto generation. From every characters that exist, not a few of these characters are underestimated by many players. They quickly look at a character often only based on the visual appearance of the jutsu that is less attractive without seeing the overall function of every jutsu that is owned by a character. That way, in the end, these characters become abandoned by players like forgotten objects. Hi gamers! It's Chelsea, and the following is our summary of 10 most underrated shinobi in NXB. Starting off at number 10, Kabuto Sage Mode. So yeah, if you are an old NXB player, maybe when you hear the name of Kabuto, you will remember where the snake-look version of Kabuto had become one of the strongest deadly shinobi. However, unlike the snake-lock version, since the beginning of the release of Kabuto Sage Mode, many players were disappointed by its presence because they judged that Bandai was failed to release Kabuto's jutsu impressively, and they believed that Kabuto could be better than now. Apart from that, Kabuto Sage Mode, which has received a jutsu kit even without the latest X, is still quite good to use. Various completeness of jutsu effects to defend against enemy attacks such as seal effects, paralysis, recovering chakra points and hit points, as well as effects that are immune to attacks have been possessed by this version of Kabuto. It's just that Kabuto is not the type of character who can attack blindly, but every player must use a good strategy and the right timing when they want to attack so that Kabuto can get through various obstacles in each mission. Of course, every player must also increase Kabuto's strength first until it reaches a minimum of SS rank to be used properly. And number 9 is Raikage. With a muscular body and very fast speed, Raikage looks very cool in this Naruto anime series. But it seems quite different in this game because I see that Raikage is very rarely used by many players to just carry out ordinary missions or play team battles in attack missions. Many people think that Raikage is not worth playing for various reasons, such as his jutsu ability is not great and his visual jutsu is less attractive. However, it seems I still see quite good potential in this character. Yes, although there are some crucial abilities that Raikage doesn't have, such as the jutsu ability to remove status effects and the jutsu ability to regenerate hit points and track up points. But behind that all, Raikage's abilities are still worth using at this time, such as jutsu to increase speed, break through various traps, and at least Raikage can still recover hit points and chakra points even though he has to issue his ultimate jutsu first. Yes, of course, a very good strategy will be the key to victory if you want to use this character. Number 8 is Naruto Sage Mode. Many players have skipped this character, when in fact the abilities possessed by Naruto Sage Mode are quite complete with various abilities of the strongest meta shinobi at this time, such as the usual jutsu ability to regenerate hit points and chakra points, immune to status effects, and attack as well as ultimate X, which is able to change the cooldown time of the jutsu to be faster. It is just this character is not equipped with the ability to open enemy traps and invincible abilities that have a fast duration. So, the use of this character also still requires a good enough team to cover these weaknesses. Actually, what I like about this character is he has a unique visual jutsu appearance that makes him quite comfortable to use in many types of missions. That way, if you want to use this character and you want to increase his power, of course there is no problem with that because this version of Naruto is still worth defending against the latest meta shinobi with the right strategy. Number 7 is Sasuke Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. it's incomplete when discussing Naruto without discussing Sasuke. Yup, this version of Sasuke actually has a large enough power potential to keep growing. But this time, we already have a jutsu list that makes this character looks like an anime sealing expert. Yes, we can see that by combining the old jutsu to the newest jutsu, all of them have a seal effect that can be troublesome for the enemy and help make it easier to complete many missions. This character also comes with a fairly complete jutsu effect power that is owned by all the latest meta. You can also see that the animated visuals of each jutsu look very nice to see and play. Not only that, this character can also function as a current meta shinobi counter because of his invincible ability, which is quite good, and his jutsu attack power is quite extensive. Yes, of course, for those of you who like Sasuke, you must try this character. Number 6 is Deidara. Yup, this time we have a member of Akatsuki who is quite iconic in the Naruto series. Deidara, as a bomb maker expert, is present in NXB by displaying his distinctive explosive and clay jutsu to finish off the enemy. This character is also one of Kuyuto's favorite characters, who is a good friend of ours at NXB, which is of course many of you must also know him through his NXB videos. But unfortunately, it seems that the players' interest of using Deidara is low because many players complain that one of Deidara's jutsu only follows and copy-pastes Itachi's reanimation jutsu, namely Pursuing Crowd Servant Strike. Besides that, many also say in the community that Deidara is a character who does not useful. Well, actually it's not quite like that. Although there are visual jutsu that imitate other characters, Deidara looks extraordinary with his latest jutsu because it has all components of dangerous jutsu effects and it's difficult to beat like the strongest meta shinobi today. This character just needs a little attention to turn into a monster that can counter the latest meta shinobi. Of course, it would be also better if you put Deidara on a strong team to make his strength more leverage. Number 5 is Nagato reanimation. Still in the surrounding world of Akatsuki, this time we will discuss an Akatsuki leader, Nagato, who is famous for his Rinnegan abilities. Yup, Nagato comes with a fairly good record of his newest jutsu. But unfortunately, many players view him badly. If we look at it clearly, Nagato is basically not that bad. This character comes with a fairly good development, although it is not the best. Nagato has the ability to restore hit points and chakra points for allies, as well as being able to make them immune to status effects. It is also useful to minimize allies' die in battle. The type of X ultimate is also not so bad, even though the range is not wide, but he can shoot 3 times so that the enemy can lose. Just like the characters we discussed earlier, this Nagato is not the type of character who can attack blindly, but each player is required to strategically place Nagato's position so that he can finish off the enemy optimally. Number 4 is Kakashi Hatake. Finally, Bandai began to pay attention to the old characters that had been left behind like this version of Kakashi. Bandai made the development of this character quite well in my opinion by providing interesting jutsu effects and quite unique jutsu visuals. One of the best jutsu possessed by this character is the water jutsu, namely the water wall, which makes almost the entire screen closed and is able to block the enemy from passing through the water wall, thereby making it easier for Kakashi to issue his Shadow Clone's jutsu to finish off the enemy. Unfortunately, the cooldown time possessed by the water wall jutsu is quite long, so it is very vulnerable if the enemy makes a deadly counterattack. But actually there is another way to overcome this deficiency, namely by bringing one shinobi in the team that can reduce the cooldown time of using the jutsu. For example, Ashura, with a light wave jutsu that allows Kakashi to spam a water wall jutsu that can make enemy unable to move. Of course, putting Kakashi on a team that covers his shortcomings is the best way to use this character to complete missions or counter other dangerous meta shinobi. Number 3 is Indra Otsutsuki. Okay, this time we have one of the Shinobi gods, namely Indra. In this game, Indra has been updated 2 times, and the last update made him really looks amazing. Indra comes with jutsu combos that can damage a large enough area so that will trap the enemy and make victory easier to achieve. However, unfortunately, it seems that many players don't really care about him. Yes, this character has several weaknesses, such as a short invincible effect, not being able to remove status effects, and not having an ordinary jutsu that can restore chakra points but having to use the ultimate X first. This deficiency is what makes this character abandoned and forgotten by many players. But actually, he is not that bad. We only need to play by keeping a distance from the enemy through a combination of jutsu that gives area damage. Besides that, Indra also has a very good X ultimate where we can do get crashes in the final room, so we don't have to bother killing enemy one by one. Number 2 is Shisui Uchiha. This time, we have a genius and strong character who comes from the Uchiha clan. Yes, Shisui in the anime series is often referred by many fans as having a stronger power than Itachi. When talking about Shisui in this game, he is one of the strongest characters in his era, where he ruled the position of stronger characters long enough to fight in attack missions. However, along with the appearance of the latest meta Shinobis, Shisui experienced a development delay by Bandai and was eventually slowly forgotten and abandoned. Some time ago, Shisui had come with his latest X-Ray kit, but still, many players were not satisfied with it until underestimated Shisui. Even though Shisui is very useful as the main attacker and good support for allies because of some his Rekit Jutsu have buffs that are able to make allies immune to attacks, increase attack power, increase speed, and are able to recover hit points. The Ultimate X is also unique and quite good because it produces large and extensive damage. So, there's nothing wrong if you want to use Shisui as an alternative if you don't have the strongest Shinobi at this time. And finally at number 1 is Hashirama Reanimate Sage Mode. Yes, this time Hashirama deserves to be included in this list because he has excellent strength and combat power. But it's very rare for people to use him in various missions, especially in attack missions. Not much different from Shisui, this version of Hashirama is very useful for being the main attacker and as a multifunctional support. With his new Jutsu kit, almost all of Hashirama's special effects can be shared with his allies. Starting from chakra points, hit points, recovery effects, increases speed, increases defense and attack power, makes all allies invisible, and adds resistance, which is very useful for defense. In addition, when this character is used as a pure attacker, he also has a visual jutsu that deals extensive damage, and the use of his jutsu is easy to control. But to be honest, when compared to normal Hashirama, this character is still one level below. But even so, this character is still very good to upgrade and you use to counter the current deadly meta Shinobis. And that is 10 most underrated Shinobi in NXB. Check out these other great clips from us and then sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. I'm Chelsea, your host. I will see you in the next video.